You'd think punk bands would have plenty to say about 1987, but the general punk scene seemed exhausted by political dissent. Punk was more offended at the rise of Rick Astley than by the crimes of Reagan and Thatcher. Certainly, hardcore was fully played out. The twin ascendants of pop punk and noise rock continued to be the dominant punk story in 1987. A nastier, garage-ier variant of the classic old-school punk sound was burbling from the underground. That strain owed as much to founding fathers the Stooges and New York Dolls as it did to post-Ramones' Thud. Welcome to the top 15 punk albums of 1987. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to APTV and turn on all notifications so you never miss a video. And check out the link in the description to the Spotify playlist featuring songs from all of the artists on this list. The best punk albums of 1987. Number 15. The Lazy Cowgirls, Tapping the Source. Doug Phillips's Blur Action Gibson locked into the locomotive rhythm dynamo that was bassist Keith Tilligman and drummer Alan Clark. They created an incredible pocket for Pat Todd's Bullfrog Holler to manhandle sharp lyrics on songs such as Goddamn Bottle and Reoccurring Thing. Classic punk rock had just reinvented itself in Los Angeles. It was called the Lazy Cowgirls. Number 14, Pussy Galore, Right Now. Run a pair of battered turntables into a Fender twin reverb amp with the volume, treble, and gain knobs fully dimed. Now play Crypt Records' 60s Garage Comp series back from the grave through this rig. You'd likely get a noise akin to these four Washington, D.C. immigrants to NYC's East Village. Former Sonic Youth drummer Bob Burt played on a kit helmed by an automobile gas tank. Every lyric John Spencer penned then amounted to a fuck you, as did this band's riffs. Pussy Galore were punk AF. Number 13, The Soup Dragons, Hang 10. They began in 1985 as the best reincarnation of buzzcocks the UK could produce at the moment, which meant this brilliant Sire Records compilation of their 45s and EPs to date for the American market is their singles going steady. Indeed, melodic buzz bombs such as the title track or Girl in the World were some of the most perfect pop singles this side of ever fallen in love. Number 12, Celibate Rifles, Roman Beach Party. The 80s best practitioners of the Sydney Stomp were on a creative streak. A new rhythm section comprised of bassist Rudy Morabito and drummer Paul Larson joined twin bazooka guitarists Dave Morris and Kent Steedman, alongside singer Damian Lovelock. Roman Beach Party featured Celibate Rifles' most saw-toothed nuclear guitar sound of their career. Steedman's crazed wah especially detonating the opening anthem Jesus on TV. With more killers such as The More Things Change and It's Such a Wonderful Life, this was their peak. Number 11, Hard-Ons. Hard-Ons. Behold, Australia's first skate punk band. Their American release showcased their ability to fuse Ramones-esque punk, metal riffs, hardcore energy, and surf pop melodies through a Boss heavy metal pedal. The LP was essentially their Aussie debut, Smell My Finger, with the wonderful Girl in the Sweater added. It was catchier than Influenza and 10 times more fun. Oh, and the beginning for what eventually became Australia's most commercially successful indie band. Number 10, Descendents, All. Guitarist Stephen Egerton and bassist Carl Alvarez of Salt Lake City hardcore band Massacre Guys replaced Ray Cooper and Doug Carrion in 1986. Meanwhile, drummer and songwriter Bill Stevenson laid the best production job he'd accomplished on his band thus far. They wailed through some numbers based around All, a half-joking self-help philosophy he and his friend Pat McCustian devised on a fishing trip. Number 9, The Lemonheads, Hate Your Friends. Before 90s alt-rock stardom and hit covers of Simon & Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson, the Lemonheads were a teenage punk band formed by high school pals Evan Dando, Ben Dealey, and Jesse Peretz. Side A of their debut LP showcased their four-piece lineup, with Dando and Dealey swapping guitar and vocal duties and Doug Thrachin drumming, while Side B saw Dando and Dealey alternating drum and guitar duties. What these Boston youths whipped up on tracks such as Second Chance and Sneakyville was raw garage but melodic. Number 8, Husker Warehouse, Songs and Stories. Minneapolis melodic punk king's sixth album was the sound of tension building, fatally. The recording process was fraught, with the headbutting between Bob Mould and Grant Hart over songwriting turf boiling over. Greg Norton's bass parts were found wanting and re-recorded outright on some tracks. This doesn't blunt this record's quality or tracks such as Could You Be the One and Ice Cold Ice from being some of Husker Du's best, but the band wouldn't last long beyond its release. Number 7, Fastbacks and his orchestra. As their original drummer Duff McKagan holed up with his new LA-based sleaze rock outfit Guns N' Roses, Seattle's long-running punk traditionalists, Fastbacks, were cutting their debut. High school pals Kurt Bloch, Kim Warnick, and Lulu Gargulio had issued an endless stream of sing-along singles and EPs full of blasting glam rock guitar since 1979, so the LP was naturally as catchy. Number 6, Big Black, Songs About Fucking. Guitarist Santiago Durango had already left for law school. Hence, a brutal, quick, economic recording session was filled with songs about drug cartel murder techniques, Colombian necktie, and other charming subjects. The drum machine thundered, Durango and Steve Albini's guitars clanged like sheet metal, and Big Black imploded thereafter. This might be the noisiest punk album of 1987. Number 5, Sonic Youth, Sister. The fact that a track such as Pipeline/Kill Time could feature 6-string work, both gorgeously chiming and eyeball-stabbingly psychedelic, indicated their intense 3-year growth. Steve Shelley's dynamic percussion work certainly helped. Sister, named for proto-cyberpunk author Philip K. Dick's stillborn twin, was recorded on vintage tube analog studio gear. Sonic Youth bowed to their punk roots via a killer cover of Crime's Snotty Dolls-inspired Garage Up, Hot Wire My Heart. Number 4, Ramones, Halfway to Sanity. The Ramones' mature phase offered fewer rewards here than on Too Tough to Die and Animal Boy. I Wanna Live was a near AOR anthem with a nice arpeggiated guitar hook surely not devised by Johnny Ramone. He was augmented with uncredited lead guitars on every album since Subterranean Jungle, by the Heartbreakers' Walter Lure, then by Shrapnel's Daniel Ray, who produced this LP. Go Lil Camaro Go was a cool duet with Blondie's Debbie Harry. But the rules seem to be metallic growlers such as Bop Till You Drop or Dumb Hardcore, Weaselface. The true American punk icons delivered a solid punk record of 1987. Number 3, Union Carbide Productions, In the Air Tonight. This youthful Swedish outfit surely made every Sydney, Australia band quake in their Cuban-heeled boots. That's how effectively Union Carbide Productions channeled the antisocial chaos of the Stooges Funhouse era. Bjorn Olsen and Patrick Kaganis twisted their guitars into a million wah and fuzz-fucked pretzel shapes. Henrik Rylander pounded 9 shades of rock swagger out of his drums, whereas Ebbett Lundberg spewed improvised lyrics and melodies that titled songs such as Ring My Bell and Summer Holiday Camp, like he was a street-walking cheetah with a heart full of napalm. Number 2, The Scientists, Weird Love. This Fender-amped, Chelsea-booted chaos was roots rock reimagined by free jazz concepts. These excellent re-recordings were America's introduction to the Scientists' gnarly legacy. It's both delightful and frightening. Number 1, The Replacements, Pleased to Meet Me. By 1987, Minneapolis' persistently sozzled hard-on sleeve rockers had achieved a lifetime SNL ban for on-air drunkenness and fired Trouble lead guitarist Bob Stinson. Owing Sire Records a new LP, they slunk into Memphis's world-famous Ardent Studios with local legend Jim Dickinson. Dickinson, who collaborated with everyone from the Rolling Stones to the Cramps, preferred dirty, lo-fi one-take imperfection. Naturally, he was the perfect replacements producer. Paul Westerberg played all the guitars, delivering some killer tunes, including Alex Chilton, a tribute to his musical spirit animal. Thanks for watching APTV. Make sure to subscribe to our channel now so you never miss a video.